With Vasil all packaged up ready to be shipped on September 22nd, there's no doubt we in the Cardano community are eagerly anticipating and looking forward to the great things Plutus 2.0 will enable and has in store for our ecosystem. However, whilst we can all imagine how a post-Vasil Cardano is likely to shape up, we're entering a totally new era, and with this comes many unknowns. Taking a moment to reflect on Cardano's past provides a great window into its future, and in doing so, something becomes evidently clear. So far, when it comes to security, staking, and decentralization, Cardano has delivered better than any proof-of-stake protocol, including that of what Ethereum aims to deliver post-merge. With this in mind, there's no reason not to believe it won't also deliver the same quality for scaling, DeFi, and governance. Despite it being a long road, having to overcome many great challenges to evolve into the beast it is today, Cardano continues to defy the naysayers, innovate, and remains at the cutting edge of blockchain technology. Whilst it's impossible to predict the future entirely, if there's one thing history tells us above all, is that when it comes to Cardano, it always delivers. Welcome back for today's instalment of Cardano Insights, where we track the all-important developments at the very pulse of Cardano and its ecosystem each weekday. So let's get straight into it. So something a little different today from the normal format, we're going to take a look at an event from Cardano's past that in my opinion presents many clues to what the future holds. Over the weekend, whilst geeking out on Cardano content, which is one of my most favourite pastimes, I came across something I had totally forgotten about that I thought I'd share with you, as I think it provides a fantastic insight into how far Cardano has come over the past 4 years, and is a great example of where it undoubtedly is heading. We're going to take a trip down memory lane right back to October 2018, where we find that when we often hear Charles say, "We're going to get it done," this is certainly a statement that time and time again is proven to be the case. First, for some context, I've often said that one of the most important attributes possessed by the Cardano community is its highly critical approach to challenging all aspects of the rollout of the Cardano roadmap. A highly critical community is vital for keeping the three organisations currently responsible for Cardano honest and transparent. In terms of the Cardano Foundation, they're often scrutinised for their efforts towards further decentralization, delivery of developer tooling, and wider adoption of the technology. In addition, they are often critiqued for the lack of community engagement, communication, and funding for community-led initiatives. Emurgo too aren't immune from this same critique. As expected, the community always demands more from this entity, who is responsible for driving commercial opportunities and partnerships. Then we have IOG. You only have to look as far back to the recent testnet debacle as an example of the community calling IOG into question over the release of node version 1.35.3. These are all divisive topics that are often discussed and debated openly in the community. I think for the most part, the critical nature of the community is warranted, especially if you want to have the most inclusive decentralized ecosystem amongst all blockchains. It's vital that the community is engaged and participates in this kind of dialogue, as it often leads to solutions and improvements of process, action, and importantly, contributes to the development of the technology. When we see the community challenging the Cardano Foundation, IOG, or Emurgo, it often forms divided opinion, which I think is a great sign of a vibrant decentralized ecosystem, and more often than not, does lead to positive outcomes, finding common ground and resolution to move forward. It's evident for the most part, the intention behind these challenging discussions or interactions are all for the good of Cardano and its long-term success. It's not when everyone agrees and everything is running smoothly that you are tested. It's disagreements and how you overcome them that leads to the most progress. So where am I going with all of this? The item that we're going to take a look at today I think perfectly illustrates how far we've come and indeed where we are heading, providing some perspective on what great shape Cardano and its community is in fact in as we embark on this exciting new era in the roadmap. So let's briefly go back to 2018. Here in this open letter from IOHK, Emurgo, and video from Charles to the Cardano community, they addressed concerns at the time of the lack of performance by the Cardano Foundation. This related to a number of different factors, for example the absence of clarity on how the foundation will spend its funds, a lack of strategic vision, and financial transparency in its operations. In addition, along with a number of other concerns, the lack of a complete and diverse Foundation Council was heavily scrutinised. In short, this open letter addressed the fact that at the time the Cardano Foundation wasn't executing on its duties, massively impacting the progression of the project, and in turn both IOHK and Emurgo came to the conclusion they were not effectively going to be able to work with the Foundation in the way it was structured. This led to IOHK and Emurgo taking the decision to gradually take over more of the Foundation's duties. As a result of this breakdown in cooperation, IOHK Emurgo took the decision to move forward without the foundation, taking on all of its responsibilities. This proved to be a significant move on the part of IOHK Emurgo, as I think anyone can agree, irrespective of the current gripes many have with the foundation, it's a completely different entity to the one that was in place in 2018. In fact, I think a lot of the work the foundation is currently carrying out goes unnoticed, and as we journey further towards governance, this is going to really come to the forefront. What I thought was really interesting here was this movement in some part was driven by the Cardano community, who formed a group that investigated the foundation and published their concerns, to which IOHK Emurgo took very decisive action. Even back in 2018, the strength and determination of the Cardano community was evident in ultimately playing a massive role in steering Cardano towards a brighter future, just like it continues to do to this current day. Charles even noted in this video that it's for this reason he so firmly believed that we can become the strongest community in the crypto space. Fast forward 4 years, and I'd argue we've done just that. In addition, this video from Charles also served as a great reminder of just how consistent he has been in his ability to address head-on the most difficult challenges, take action, and communicate solutions or directions to the wider community through his AMAs and frequent updates. Whilst at times Charles does divide opinions, it cannot be disputed how significant his role has been in building the community and maintaining the vision of Cardano. But it's this next piece that really resonated with me. During this open letter to the community, Charles discussed some of the vital process or systems that were to be implemented that today we at times can take for granted and be highly critical of. However, back in 2018, they were not in existence. In response to the concerns and in an effort to rally the community, he explained that an open source director had been appointed responsible for implementing the initial framework for the SIP process, software versioning and Git issues to get the project into a more open source foundation. In addition, promised meaningful discussions for the implementation of a treasury system, as well as blockchain governance, promising to accelerate spending on treasury and DAO research to construct a completely new foundation, one that the community would be able to participate in. So again, if we fast forward to 2022, we can see that all of the actions or initiatives set out by OG in this open letter have indeed become a reality. We have a SIP process in place currently responsible for more than half of the Vasil updates in this most significant upgrade in the blockchain's history. We also have a far more open source project. You only have to refer to GitHub to see the level of community developer contribution. In terms of the Cardano treasury, today it sits at 1 billion ADA, with Project Catalyst now responsible for funding over 500 projects. The journey towards governance is also firmly in place, with Dirk Hondel leading the open source efforts and overseeing the implementations of the members-based organisation. It's remarkable just how far we've come in the last 4 years. So I guess what I'm getting at here is when we consider where we were in 2018, with IOHK, Emurgo and the Cardano community addressing the failings of the Cardano Foundation, seemingly having to make the most difficult of decisions, this was overcome through a collaborative effort and sheer determination to see Cardano realise its true potential. It's also striking how many of the big pieces like the Cardano treasury, SIP process, open source efforts and governance framework Charles put forward in this video have actually now been implemented to great effect. So when we have our grievances with the Foundation, IOG, Emurgo, Catalyst, the SIP and governance processes, I think sometimes it's important to take a step back and be grateful they have indeed materialised in their current form. Whilst not all perfect, they are work in progress, and it's down to everyone as a collective to continue collaborating towards reaching our common goals. It's certainly encouraging to remind ourselves that many of the puzzle pieces that were only just being discussed as ideas in 2018, in 2022 have now become a reality. This bodes very well for the future of Cardano and provides an excellent insight to the fact that we as a community are going to get it done and deliver exactly what Cardano is set out to do. For me, this example went a long way in reaffirming my belief that Cardano is primed to execute the next stages of the roadmap in style, and with evidence like this, who would bet against it from doing just that? I hope I've managed to effectively communicate the message I intended today, but I've linked the open letter and video from Charles in the description, which I'd urge everyone to go check it out. Let me know in the comments what you think about what I've presented today. As always, I'd love to hear your take. So that's it for today's installment of Cardano Insights, as we keep track of all the developments and continue to spread those positive Cardano vibes. If you found value in the content, then please be sure to comment, share, like and subscribe to the channel. I really can't thank you guys enough for all the support you continue to send my way. I really do appreciate it. We'll be back tomorrow with your daily roundups. Until then, thanks for watching. Have a great day, and as always, keep it Cardano.